There are 8 billion people on this planet. We need to figure out how 8 billion plus people will have access to food, to water, and to energy. Without these three core elements, nothing else matters. People need to eat, they need to be hydrated. We need water for the growing of food. We need water for industrial production. We need energy, because without energy we can't manufacture. We can't live a lifestyle to which we've become accustomed to, as human beings have continued to master and overcome living at the whims of the natural environment. And as we've seen with the heat waves this summer and the heat crisis that broke out in many parts of the world, including in the United States, power for air conditioning is no longer just a nicety. For some people, it becomes a matter of survival. So we need energy. And as I said before, one of the energy demands that we have is we also need increasingly to find adequate sources of energy that don't then complicate the climatic and environmental crisis that we are now facing. At the same time, so we have the trilemma. At the same time, human expectations have changed. So 100 years ago, less than 2 billion people on this planet, most people aspired to a certain degree of sustainability in their day-to-day lives. That is, they wanted to be able to ensure that they wouldn't starve, that there was a sufficient harvest, some degree of access perhaps to care. In the 21st century, and again, primarily because of the ubiquitous spread of this, everyone has access to a global culture which implies a certain standard of living. Even in the poorest parts of the world, we can find these devices. People listen, they watch, they see lifestyles to which they aspire. Most people aspire to at least what we would broadly define as a middle-class lifestyle. And this creates what's known as the legitimacy prosperity equation. And governments around the world, whether they are autocratic, authoritarian, democratic, or some mix of the two, all increasingly are trying to navigate the legitimacy prosperity equation, which is that people increasingly say a government is legitimate in my eyes, whether it's giving a mandate to the party to rule or to these elites, whether they're traditional elites in some societies to rule, or to the procedures and processes of government through elections. It is legitimate only to the extent that I believe that it either helps me attain that level of prosperity that I expect is my right, or, particularly in the case of the United States and Europe, that it makes sure that I don't lose that status, that I don't lose that level of prosperity. And so governments around the world facing the trilemma, food, water, energy nexus, and dealing with this legitimacy prosperity equation, this is what I believe is going to really be the shaping force for international affairs in the 21st century.